Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Gavin from Balls to You, and this is going to be somewhat of a rant video or an explanation video or my thoughts video on a few topics. First thing I want to do is bring up about people buying snakes without really checking them over thoroughly. I seem to be getting a lot of emails and messages, which is fine. However, complaining that they've been and brought a snake, they took a long road trip, 4 hours in some instances, to go and get a snake, and they get it back home and it's got a respiratory problem. Or they go and get it and they bring it back and it's got mites, or the snake isn't healthy, as in it's really underweight, dehydrated, that sort of thing. It amazes me. It amazes me that you go to these people's houses, and these are people who are selling snakes, and I wouldn't class them as being breeders, and this is no offence to anyone out there, and whatever I say, guys, this isn't me offending or trying to offend anyone. This is just me just thinking a little bit with a bit of common sense. Okay, if I go to someone's house who's not a breeder, so if I go to someone's house and I don't know this person, I would try and research this person if they claim to be a breeder. Again, we can have hobbyist breeders and small-time breeders, and that's fine. But most people you can find on Facebook, even though I hate the place, it seems to be a good place to go and find up any information you need to, or any reviews on anyone that you may not know of or heard of. There are plenty of established and reputable breeders in the UK, and again in the States as well, and in Canada and all over the place. It just amazes me how people seem to forget about those established breeders, and they look on Craigslist, or they look on Pre-Loved, or they look at Pets for Home, and they see this animal and they go and buy it, and then they just have problems. And it amazes me that you still want to go and hand over your hard-earned cash to a person who claims that they've had it as a pet and they no longer have time for it, and they're selling it and getting rid of it, and then this animal's got a respiratory problem or mites. And I sort of get the fact that people want to help other animals, that you want to help animals and nurse them back to life, but the reality of it is it doesn't always come right for a snake with respiratory. It's very hard to combat the upper infection, which is an RI, which is a respiratory or upper respiratory infection. It's very difficult to put that right, and the reason for that is the antibiotics that are used it's like 50-50, okay? It may work, it may not. You get a snake, you've just paid, or you've got it for free, whatever. You've got home, you realise it's got a respiratory, you then take it to the vets. The vet's going to hit you with no less than £70 vet bill, okay? Maybe more, depending on the vet and how much they charge and all that sort of stuff. So all of a sudden you haven't got this animal for free, you're actually now got a problem animal that you're going to have continuous medication for. And if this is your first animal and you're there having to give it injections of either Baytril or Fortrim or some sort of antibiotic, it's a long, hard process, and it may not even, the animal may not sort of see out the woods. Mites is another issue. People sort of, when you go and look at a snake, you're not looking for something, or you're not, you're just amazed by the snake, and you just get it home, and then you find out, well, what are these little black things, and you pop them and you realise it's got mites. That's also another process that's just, it can be very tedious. You will get rid of them. You will sort of come to the end, and you will sort of get him, you'll see him out the woods, but it's a long process. And I feel that if you are getting your first animal, first ball python or royal python, then you should really go to an experienced or reputable breeder, and have a pleasurable experience, a a good experience. Okay, now I'm not saying all reputable breeders you'll have a good experience, but if those breeders are of any decent quality, they will help you every step of the way if you do have any problems. So this little part of the video is, it just amazes me how many people still continue to bypass the quality breeders and go to people who have got this animal and it's a problem, they know it's a problem, and they just want to offload it onto other people. And you people who go there and buy these animals and you want to help it, and you know, you're generally nice people, and that's the problem. You're being taken advantage of, and that's what I feel. You're being taken advantage of because they can't be bothered to take it to the vets. They know the animal's got a problem and they're just going to offload it onto you. I just have loads of emails on a regular basis. I'm talking daily emails or messages saying they've just brought this snake, it's got this problem, what should they do? One of the first things I ask people is, have you spoke to the person you got it off, or you know, have you contacted the breeder that you got it off? Sometimes it's from a pet shop, sometimes it's from, you know, from just someone selling it on an advert on the internet or something. I just think you know, guys, I feel for you, because you're good people. You want to take on these animals, and then you go and have an experience which sort of knocks your confidence when you want to go and buy another animal. My advice will always be, yes, by all means look about, but take time to find and research an established breeder or a reputable breeder, whether they be on a big scale or a small scale. Get some people, you know, reviews are a good one, you know. I mean, if I was on Facebook, you know, I'd fall out with a lot of people, but that's not the point. The point is, get some reviews off people, look at some of their you know, I know a lot of people have put really kind comments in my videos and on my Instagram, saying that you know, they're really pleased they've brought an animal off me and they're really happy, you know, they've had a good experience. And again, there are good and reputable breeders out there, so just take time, research what you want to look for, the problems, you know, get yourself familiar with the common illnesses like mites and respiratory problems, and then look at the breeders. Okay, so that's that done with. Okay, so guys, please go and buy from the good people out there. Okay, right. Next problem, feeding. We tend to see that it's still out there that people say that ball pythons are finicky feeders. Is it true? Is it not true? Do they go off food? Again, this is something I see. People have gone and brought a snake and it stopped feeding X amount of months down the line, and they've contacted the breeder, and the breeder turns around and says, yes, they are known for going off food. That's not technically true. And when I say that, I feel that is being used to fob people off. Okay, they will go off food, but for reasons. They'll go off food. Males will tend to go off food on the breeding season. That's if males can smell females, that is. If you've got a single male as a pet, it may not go off. Okay, it may just continue, just carry on smashing food. Females will tend to go off food at about a year of age, around about 1,000 grams. Again, those are really the only two real reasons I can say. Well, we still really don't know why they do what they do, but they're the two times that they will go off food. As hatchlings going into sub-adults, they will feed every day if you let them. Okay, if you've got an animal that's not feeding, it doesn't mean that the breeder who has sold it you has potentially done you over. It can mean that, but if you're looking at a healthy animal and you go and you buy a healthy animal and it's eating and you can see it's got a feeding record, all that sort of stuff, and then you get it home and it's not feeding for you, then there's obviously a problem there. There's something that you need to work with the breeder to establish where the problem lies. Is it the type of prey? Is it the setup? Is it the temperatures? Is it that it doesn't feel secure enough? Is it that it's in a noisy part of the house? There's so many things, you know. Are you feeding it the same way as the breeder fed it? So, like with my animals, when I sell an animal, I always give them a care sheet and I advise how I feed my snakes. And that is obviously dipping the head in boiling hot water, wipe off the excess and offer it to the snake. Boom, got it, away they go. So always you need to sort of be in contact with the breeder. Like I said, if you have any problems, you know, the breeder should, and this is where a reputable breeder will help you. The breeder should help you out and try and get you to, you know, try and get you the problem fixed for you, or trying to work out and diagnose where the problem is. Is it the tub? Is it where it is? Like I said, does it not feel secure? Is it the type of prey? Is it the time of the day when you're feeding the animal? Does it want to be drop fed first? Because again, it's a confidence thing. Some of these animals, as in ball pythons or royal pythons, you have to build up a confidence. They have to have confidence in you. They have to believe what you're feeding them, and bear in mind you are feeding them, is what it is on the tin, if you like. Because otherwise, they don't know, because they tend to go and get it themselves in the wild. So they're sort of, there is a trust thing involved. So that is important. So with that in mind, like I said, unfortunately, when you are a person and you've got an animal there and you're trying to get it to feed, many a times have I spoken to people and they haven't, again, followed either what I've said and they're having problems, and then once they correct that, the animal starts to feed. Or they haven't contacted the breeder and they haven't spoke to the breeder about anything. And the first thing I advise them is obviously go speak to the breeder. I can't advise you really any further because I don't know how that animal was kept in their premises or how they used to feed it. So obviously I can't, you know, really sort of advise any further. So if you get an animal, you must always be in contact with the breeder. If you have any problems, try and work it out together. The breeder can obviously help you so far, but you've got to know what you're doing wrong. And this, again, where research comes in. Before you go and buy an animal, research. Okay, guys? Another topic I want to touch on. Auctions, whatever you want to call them. Auctioning an animal off. It's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. Because auctions in the UK completely different to your auctions in States. Auctions in the UK is a very big no-no due to, obviously, and again, this doesn't mean to, I don't mean to offend anyone, but in the UK we have a lot of animal rights activists and a lot of people who, you know, sort of want the animals to be sold or traded, let's say, in a correct way. And trading, there's another thing. You know, swapping an animal for items. You know, we get it. A friend of mine got offered, like, I think it was some sort of air rifle, you know, for a ball python. You're like, what? And again, people have been offered PlayStations, all sorts for an animal. I'm not a big fan of that. I'd rather go and buy, if I wanted a PlayStation or an air rifle, you know, I'd rather go and buy it than swap it for an animal. Swapping jeans, that's not as in like the morph, not the jeans that you wear, morph. Swapping with another breeder, that's fine, that's not an issue. But auctions of any animal is a very big no-no in the UK. My thoughts on auctions are, they are good if they are done correctly and for the right reasons. There are people out there who are doing auctions, who are going to a reptile show, buying the animal, then coming back to their house and then doing an auction. Do I agree with that? No, I don't. I'm sorry if I'm going to offend anyone and you're going to unsubscribe. It's my opinion, okay? I don't agree with it. And the reason why I don't agree with it is because you could go and buy an animal from a show, from someone you don't even know, come and auction the animal off on YouTube or Facebook, whatever you may have, and you don't know anything about that animal. And then the person that's the person that's won the auction of that animal has got no real history. You know, it's just like, you might as well go and buy a car with your eyes closed, and and just I'll have that one. It's a bit for me. I'm not a massive fan of it. And I'm sorry if I upset anyone by saying it. All that spells to me is trouble with a capital T. If you're going to do an auction and it's one of your animals, not a problem, because you've produced that animal. If you want to do an auction for the right reasons, like we have, or over in the States they have the US Ark, it's fine. As far as I'm concerned, it's been auctioned. It's come from a breeder. It's going up for auction, and it's going to be auctioned for a good cause. When people are auctioning snakes for their own gain, as in like either more subscribers or more views, or any sort of false fame, if you like, or any sort of reputation, I really do feel it could hinder and cause a problem for your reputation as a breeder, because then all of a sudden you become what's known as a flipper. Okay, and here we go on to another topic, flipping. Let's just recap on the auctions. The auctions I'm not a fan of. I've never done an auction of a live animal. Like I said, in the UK it's not really a done thing. In the US I know there's a lot of auctions going on, and some people do it correctly and some people just do it just completely wrong as far as I'm concerned. And all you're going to do, guys, for those people who are doing auctions, all you're going to do is you're going to give yourself a bad reputation. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. If I want to auction an animal off, which I can't, but if I did, I'd make sure it's one of my own. I'd make sure that animal is in tip-top condition. Okay, so I'd make sure that that is bang on before I even attempted to even do some sort of auction or giveaway. So before we go into flippers, let's talk about giveaways. I did a giveaway last year, and it's the first one I've done, and it won't be the last. I did it in conjunction with John Lehman at the Morph Market. We came together. I wanted to do something in the UK for all those people in the UK who have supported me, and I really wish I could do something in the States. I am thinking about doing something in the States, but in collaboration with another breeder. So rather than you getting the animal from me, you'd be getting it from that breeder, and obviously I'll be footing the bill, if you like, of that animal. But anyway, so giveaways for me are not a bad thing. Again, if they're done correctly, if you're going out and buying an animal from a reptile show that you know nothing about, and then you're going to go and give it away, you're asking for trouble again. To me, it's the same sort of thing as on auctions. If you're giving away one of your own snakes, or a snake that you've held back, maybe you were going to keep that animal, and then you thought, you know what, I've hatched another animal that's better, so I can let that animal go. But rather than selling it, I'm going to do an auction. Rather than selling that animal, you're going to give it away and do some sort of competition. For me, that's up to you. That's fine. The problem with auctions and giveaways is when people are doing auctions and giveaways with animals that they know nothing about. They haven't even probably had a feed with that person, and already they've got it back from the show and they're going to give it away. I know this is going to be a topic that a few people are going to disagree with, and that's fine. We haven't all got to agree. This isn't me slagging anyone off or anything like that. This is just me and my opinion, and I just think, these are animals, and the last thing I want is for good people out there to tarnish our reputation, to have to go and change the name, okay, because they've messed up, and then come back on the scene as a different person. Oh, this was Gavin from Balls to You, now it's Gavin from Balls for You. It's crazy. Don't wreck your reputation just trying to get subscribers or follows or likes or whatever. Just build on it, okay? It'll come. It'll come. Rome wasn't built in a day. You need to build with good foundations. Don't start giving away people's other problem snakes, or auctioning off other people's problem snakes, because now they are your problem snakes. Okay, that's my opinion. Flipping. Flipping hell. Okay, flipping snakes. Where do I stand on that? Okay, there's different levels of flipping. Flipping cars, flipping houses. You know, flipping is quite used in a loose way to buy something at the right money, maybe do it up and sell it on at a profit. There is nothing wrong in that, guys. If you're at the right place, the right time, and you can grab yourself a bargain, and you can do that car up or do that house up, and you're going to move it on to make a bit of extra cash, fair enough. Again, in the UK, flipping snakes, not a good thing. Excuse me. Not a good thing. If you have got, I've got a few close friends, and a few of those close friends decided they wanted to either cut their collection down or get out altogether. I will help them try and sell their snakes, okay? Because I trust their collection. I can walk into their collection and quite happily walk into mine. I haven't got to worry about any cross-contamination because the way they do things, the way they keep things is spot on. And the way I look at it is, if I put someone in touch with someone else, or if I said, you know, look, I've got a friend, he's selling his collection, he's got this snake, that snake, you know, it's my reputation I stand a chance of damaging. So I want to make sure those snakes are 100% right, and that I would have them any day in my collection. So flipping for me is when you have an animal. Sometimes they very rarely even take it out the tub or the container. They'll just go and pick it up from another place and go and take it to a place and say, there you go, I've sold, you know, here's a snake, can I have your money? That's pretty bad. They don't know the health of the animal, they don't know how it feeds, and then you, the person at the other end who's getting the animal, has no idea what you're getting yourself into. Okay. Some of this can come down to buying cheap, and again, like what I say to you guys time and time again, buy cheap, you'll buy twice. Simple. Okay. The snakes out there that the good breeders and the well-established breeders sell aren't that expensive, to be honest with you, and for that little bit extra pounds or dollars, it's going to be well worth the investment. Okay, and the time at the end of the day. So flipping snakes or any type of animal is a no-go, guys. Unfortunately, like I said, it's seen in a very negative light. You'll only get a bad reputation between you and other breeders. Other breeders won't want to deal with you. People will come to the breeders. I've had a few customers, and I hate using the word customers, but I've had a few customers come to me and say, we've dealt with this guy, we didn't like the way he did business, we want to stay with you. And they'll stay with me because they know that what I produce, and it will take time. They could go to this person and probably buy it straight away, but they know that what they're getting from me is not only a grade snake, but it's also the customer service. As I said before, you know, that is key, guys. So flipping snakes, you go and buy a snake to flip at an auction just so you can get views or you can get follows or whatever, you know, just trust me, don't do it. Okay, it's really not worth the hassle. And for those people who are buying the animals off you, or winning the animals, or you know, they're winning the auction, whatever it is, all it's going to do is damage your reputation, because now you're known as a flipper, and now all of a sudden you breeding the right type of animal and you want to go for quality over quantity isn't going to work because you've already damaged your reputation. Okay. Again, I've got nothing against anyone who wants to go and flip or anything like that, but I'm just telling you, you're not going to have a good reputation and you may not last very long in this hobby or industry. Okay, so if you're going to do it right. It may take time, but it'd be worth it. Here's another one: buying followers, or buying subscribers, or buying likes. What do I think about it? Because again, I get asked that question. I've stood a bit on the fence about it. I have done a couple of little posts on Instagram, you know, little polls, see who would buy, who wouldn't. What is the purpose of it? When you go and buy fake subscribers or fake likes or fake followers, the people around you who are supporting you, genuine people, will see that. And you can click on anyone's followers or subscribers and look through them and see who's a real account and who's a fake account. What does it do? I don't think really it does any difference. I mean, because they're fake accounts, they're not real people. So to me, it's not going to make you any more famous if that's what you're looking for out there. It's not going to sell your animals any quicker because they're not real people, they're fake accounts, so they can't really buy snakes. And for me, I'd rather have people following me because they enjoy what I do, they like what I post, they're snake lovers. They may not be snake lovers, but like I said before, they may like or love or be interested in what I do. They may not be able to keep a snake, but they're fascinated. Okay, they're fascinated by the posts or the videos that I put up. And again, I'm just talking for me. This could go for anyone, you know. If you watch all of my YouTube subscribers and all my Instagram followers, you know, they've come on. If they do a like for like, so let's say they go sub for sub, so subscribe to me and I'll subscribe to you. I don't do that. Okay, the same for follow for follow. When you follow someone and they'll follow you, if you follow them, all that sort of stuff, I don't do that either. If I'm interested in what you're doing, if you know, you support me, I support you, sort of a thing, then I'll do my best. I've got over 8,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'd love to follow you all and subscribe to you all. I physically can't, but I really do appreciate everyone's support on all platforms, whether it be just buying a snake from me, supporting me on YouTube, supporting me on Instagram. But these are real people. These are people who have a general and a genuine interest in what I do. I don't see the point in buying fake subscribers or fake likes or fake follows, whatever. I just don't see the point in it. You know, it is whatever. You know, there's people out there who earn their graft and earn their place in the industry, and for me, them sort of people go far in my eyes. Okay, so a little bit of a rant. I've had quite a few emails regarding bits and pieces, and I just wanted to try and clear a few things up. Again, guys, I'm not meaning to offend anyone. I'm just being honest and being truthful and just telling you guys out there who may be doing some of these things, all you're doing is damaging your reputation. You know, if you're trying to sell an animal that you know has got problems, mites, respiratory, poor feeder, underweight, has never eaten, all that sort of stuff, all you're going to do is damage your reputation. If you're going to act all falsely and, you know, and everything on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, real people will see through that, and there'll be people talking about you because we all know what you do. You know, we can see the fakeness, and if you don't stop it now, it'll just snowball, and the next minute you know, as Mark said on one of my interviews that I did with him, the ball python highway is littered with people who have got in, done the wrong thing, and just on the side of the road. Okay, so if you really seriously have got this passion for these animals and doing whatever you do, this could equate to anything. You know, put the graft in, put the hard work in, you know, balls to the walls. You know, and don't stop, push every day, that grind, get up, do what you know, don't shortcut yourself, don't cut corners, okay? Do things correctly, and you'll be seen in a lot better light than probably what you are now, okay? Sorry about the rant, guys. Hope you're all okay. Hope you're all well. Love you all. Fantastic to hear from you all. Please, by all means, put some comments in the comment box below. I don't want it to turn into any sort of nasty hate sort of thing. I'm just trying to advise people out there what we all see, and you know, just be you. Okay, don't be anyone else. Don't try and be anyone else. Just be yourself. Okay, that's all I'll say on the matter. Okay, everyone. Hope you're all well. Take care, and I'll speak to you guys soon.